My name is Mrs Mary Roberts. I live in 20 Follett Street, E14. I've been in the East End all my life. I originated from Sept, which is in the East End, and come up to Poplar, and I just wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I do like my house, so near a market. I've not got far to go to get any shopping that I need, and I like the area.
My name's John, Mara's my mum. Tell you about me mum.
Johnny, would you like to come in?
Do you want the good, the bad, or the ugly side?
Tell you, he still ain't lost the chance of getting a good ironing off of me, I mean that. It all came about because I had such a very high gas bill. And my son was convinced there must have been something wrong. And he says to me, why don't you ask your housing association if they could put secondary glazing in for me? And they said they would get back to me. And he just says to me that an architect would be coming down on such and such a date. So I said, oh, all right. Well, I naturally assumed that the gentleman was going to come down and just measure up the windows until I saw exactly what he was doing. And that's basically how it started.
I think the property at Follett Street was chosen by the TSB because it's a Victorian house, terraced house, so it's quite representative of a lot of housing stock in this country. We also, I think importantly, had a very willing and enthusiastic resident.
This is my living room. They're trying to improve so that it can be a cleaner environment and it can be a more greener environment, and it will cost less for me to run the house.
It was a very drafty house, very, very cold during the winter.
And I can't afford to be cold. With my health, I really can't afford to be cold. This is my kitchen diner. I've got 2 windows in here, and you know, unless you're cooking, it's really cold in here. Sometimes you don't know where the coldness is coming from. We had things under the door, you know, just draft-proof things, but it just didn't work. It didn't work.
It's important for East Thames to concentrate on building sustainable homes because, first of all, obviously we have government targets to meet, but also it's important to our residents because it reduces the running costs for them in heating their homes at a time when energy costs continue to rise and become more and more unaffordable.
It's Tuesday and it's a week into the work, and they've managed to do some windows and they're gradually getting on very well with the work.
Currently we're still in the process of ripping out walls, we're still in the process of first fix electrical. All the electrics will be dropped down to the suitable heights where they should be. We're still carrying out first fix plumbing. The toilet going into the bathroom will be on the back wall, and it'll give you a bathroom that is probably a third as big again.
We'll actually be installing a wastewater heat recovery unit which will be ducted down to the kitchen below. That essentially works on the basis that the cold feed coming in to feed the shower head is primed by heat recovered from the waste heat that's going down the plug hole.
Technologies are emerging quite rapidly, and for us it's making those choices between emerging technologies and ones that we know deliver real benefits.
The other problem in here was the poor light, so we've obviously put the new downlighters in, but right in the top, just above there, there'll be the light tube.
We have some very innovative stuff here. We're removing the existing boiler and replacing it with a high efficiency gas boiler.
He always used to leave his tea cold. We used to say to Manny, hurry up, your tea's getting cold. And he used to say, well, cold tea makes you good looking. And I said, well, it ain't that much for you, is it?
We're still removing old wall structures to replace with new chip liner and space them to walls. You can see just down here the insulation to the floor void, which goes all the way down, so then picks up to the insulation underneath in the ground floor.
So you've got to choose a colour for every single room now. Have you decided on any colours yet?
Oh no, not yet, because I said I'd bet your bottom dollar if I picked out, so my son said, no, I don't like that. So we're going to wait and see what he says first.
Right.
And then we can say, no, I don't like that.
we've been very keen to focus on incorporating measures that are as passive as possible. So the first thing we try to do is to improve the energy efficiency of buildings by insulation. The second thing we do is to introduce measures which are fairly low tech, such as solar heating, which doesn't require continued maintenance. And all the time we have to focus on making sure that it's easy for residents to operate.
Well, when the gentleman said that they were going to put the solar panels in, I thought that was really great. It would be nice if my grandchildren could grow up to see that every home ends up with anything like that.
Hey, I'm Martin Weaver. I'm site manager for Hill Partnerships Limited. We've put our solar thermal panels on and our photovoltaic panels.
My God, I only asked for secondary glazing and look what's coming, you know, what's happening there, which, believe me, I mean, I'm quite happy about it. I really am.
Into this last stage, we'll just then carry out making good, fitting of kitchen, fitting of bathroom, test and commission throughout, and just ensure that everything works.
And I look forward to seeing us all again when it's all over and it's all done and that you'll all come and have a look. Might even make it a garden party, so come with your big hat. Well, we're practically on the last, maybe a day.
So we'll pop upstairs and we'll have a look around.
Okay.
So what we've got in here, you've got your pump there, which takes the hot water from the roof, which is generated by the sun, and then the tank and the boiler doesn't have to work so hard to generate a high heat.
The primary results that we are expecting are to reduce the running costs for Mrs. Roberts' homes, and of course the 2-year monitoring period after completion of the works will provide us the evidence of real savings.
So you've got your new WC there. We've insulated all the way through this wall, triple glazed windows. You've got your new low energy fan extracting all the moisture out of the room. We've got 5 low energy lights in here, nice and light. And we've got your nice new bath in place. It's a slightly shallower bath, so it doesn't use quite so much water.
They're lovely, them taps, aren't they?
They are rather posh.
They are nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
We have a long-term investment and stake in everything we build, and we will own it for a long, long time. So we're trying to make sure that the things we do now will last into the future and continue to last.
Up here we've got the sun tube, which is a glass dome on the roof with mirrors in it, and then just sheds the light into this landing area.
Lovely.
Projects such as this will help us make those informed choices of technologies and ways of improving environmental sustainability. The practicalities of demolishing existing homes and just building new ones have to be considered quite carefully.
There's an emotional and social issue about it. It's about what the fabric of the UK is about, people like Victorian houses and Georgian houses, so we need to focus on improving those rather than looking for ways to replace them.
So outside here we've got your new exhaust and your flue there, which takes all the dirty air away from the boiler.
It's not until you see the finished article where it's all come together that you really, you know, you can see the value in what is being done.
The flue I showed you outside, which discharges the hot air and the waste gas out the top, is then reused and heated and then brought back into the bottom of the boiler again. So that harnesses waste heat there again.
The heating side of things is certainly going to make it more comfortable and less expensive to heat. So I'm particularly glad that that's being sorted out with double glazing and the insulation that's going in.
So what we've done in here, we've insulated through this part of the house, through the hallway and through the second living room in there as well. All done, insulated and finished.
It's 1,000 times better than what I had before.
I think East Thames plays a really important role in the East End of London. By looking at neighbourhoods as a whole, we're looking at holistic change rather than small-scale intervention.
So there's a real focus on us educating and informing people on how to use their homes at the point of handover after the works have been completed. And for the TSB project, we've got a 2-year monitoring period which is going to take us through the winter and the summer. So there's a criticality there for us to get in and talk to the residents and have direct feedback on how it was for them to live in that home.
It's been a marvellous change, it really has.
My hope for the whole project is that my mum's more comfortable and that she's got an environment where she can remain independent for longer.
Oh, it's made a tremendous difference. It really has. And it will certainly make my life a lot easier. And that's all down to East Thames.